So there's actually a really easy way to check if you need to prepare a self-assessment return or not. So let's take a look at the computer now. Okay, so all you need to do is use the link in the description. So it's going to be www.gov.uk/self-assessment tax returns /who must send a tax return. So if you go to this page here, you get an overview and it's going to tell you what you need to do. So it's going to say who must send a tax return. It's going to give you a little brief outline to say if you were self-employed as a sole trader and earned more than 1k, if you're a partner in a business, if you had a total taxable income of more than 100k, or you had to pay the high income child benefit charge. And they're just some examples. So what you need to do is go down to check if you need to send a tax return if you're not sure. So if you click on here, it'll say here, use this tool to find out if you need to send a tax return for 2022 to 2023. And to be clear, that's the tax year 6th of April 22 to the 5th of April 23. So go to continue. So it's going to say, did you work for yourself between the 6th of April and the 5th of April? So if you're not sure what this means, you can click on what working for yourself means here. And it comes up with additional tabs. So going through running your business for yourself, if you have several customers, transactions, etc., 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 and selling goods. So when we're talking about Etsy and selling on eBay, etc., this is what we're referring to. So it might be applicable for you. So if we go back a step, if we say yes, next step, what was your work status when you worked for yourself? So were you a director of a limited company? So if you set up a limited company on Companies House, which you probably won't have done if you were using the likes of Etsy and just selling as an individual. Self-employed, partnership in a business. So it's going to be self-employed as a sole trader in most circumstances where you're just selling on Etsy, eBay, Amazon, etc. Next step. Did you earn more than £1,000 from working for yourself? So if you did, then you want to hit yes. So again, that's between the dates of the 6th of April 22 and the 5th of April 23. So now it's come up with a summary to say you need to send a self-assessment tax return because you are self-employed as a sole trader and you are earning over the 1k threshold. So in order to do this, what you need to do is register for self-assessment if you've never done a tax return before. So if you're already preparing a self-assessment tax return, you can add this information to that tax return. But otherwise, you need to register for self-assessment. Now, this doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to have tax to pay, because when we look at revenue, we're going to take off any allowable costs to determine profit to then work out any tax, if any at all. So those steps we're not going to cover in great amounts of detail in this video, but instead, if we go to you must register for self-assessment and click on here, we now get more information. So check how to register for self-assessment. So what this is saying is that essentially you need to register for self-assessment by the 5th of October after the tax year end. So we've missed that deadline now for 2022-23. So as in the tax year ended on the 5th of April 23, we need to have registered for self-assessment by the 5th of October 23, but we haven't. So we could face a fine if we've not registered. If you've registered before, again, you can add this information to your self-assessment tax return already. But if you didn't send a self-assessment tax return last year, you might need to reactivate your existing account. So again, to be clear, if you have already registered for self-assessment but you didn't file a return last year, you might have to reactivate your existing account. So any questions here at all, just put those in the comment section and I can add another video to answer any further questions here. Now, just a final note from me, in the next video I'm going to show you how you can register for self-assessment, but if you do need help or you're looking for a bookkeeper or an accountant, then feel free to drop me an email at rebeccasfinancetutorials@hey.com. And otherwise, take care.